Alrighty, so in this video we're going to attempt to go through and show how to create a GitHub SSH key. This allows you to pull personal GitHub repositories through the SSH method, which is much more secure. GitHub is trying to slowly move away, so if you go to a repo and you copy the code, they're trying to move away from using HTTPS just because SSH is much more secure in most instances. But in order to use the SSH method on your computer or your desktop, you have to generate what's called an SSH key for your particular system. This setup can be slightly confusing. There's lots of good text tutorials online, but I can't seem to find many videos on it. So at the same time, I don't want anyone to have my SSH keys, so I'm going to try and be very careful to not show any of that off. If I do, I guess I'll re-record the video and just try again. Okay, so first things first, we have VS Code here. We did like we were doing before, where we click this drop-down arrow, open a git bash terminal, and here it is, and we have git version. Okay, we still have git installed, so that's always a good start. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we'll go ahead and look at GitHub. So if you're at your main GitHub homepage, you can click on your little icon up here and go down to settings. When you go to settings, it'll show you a lot of different information about your profile. I don't think any of this is too sensitive of information, but that's not a big deal. And then there's a little button down here that says SSH and GPG keys. So you'll click that button, and when it does, it'll show you some of your SSH keys that you have listed down here. I kind of skipped that step so that way you couldn't see mine. But there's some SSH keys here, and then there should be a green button up here that says Add SSH Key. It should look just like that button, but it'll be somewhere up here. And you'll click that, and it'll bring you to a page like this. So you can go ahead and get it ready. I'll call this Eddie Gaming Desktop. And just something very clear. You don't want to use too vague names in case one of your SSH keys gets corrupted or doesn't work anymore, so that way you don't go and delete things that need to stay there. Key type, keep it as an authentication key, and then this, it should just show, okay, whenever you get your SSH key, it should be in one of these formats. Okay, so let's go back to VS Code, and this is kind of like Linux command line, so in order to get a key, you need to type SSH dash key gen dash TRSA dash SSH dash keygen dash T, yes, and then ED25519 dash capital C, and then in the double quotes, put your email address. So just an example email address. Honestly, I couldn't tell you what some of this stuff means. This is all just kind of built-in GitHub commands. So the dash T dash C, I'm not 100% sure what that does. So that's what you'll type, the SSH keygen dash T, the ED25519, and then an email address that you have tied to your GitHub account. Then you can hit enter. Enter the file in which you want to save the key. You can just hit enter and it will save it to the default file passphrase. If you're not super concerned about it being secure, you can just, again, hit enter, and it'll leave it blank. Yeah, there we go. And then the keys, random art image is whatever that is. Lovely. Okay, so we now have a new key, and it's saved in a specific location with no password because we are not super concerned about what it looks like. Nope, sorry, this one here. Okay, Good. So, next, now we need to add the SSH key that we just generated to the SSA agent, as it's called. So first thing we'll want to do is we'll want to make sure that the agent is running. So we'll run eval, double quotes again, and put in a $, parentheses, and say SSH dash agent space dash S. And that'll give you a PID number for your agent. Mine is 127, apparently. Okay, and then we're going to SSH dash add a tilde /dot SSH /ID underscore ED, and then the 25519 like we entered before. That command will just kind of add a agent to a key and a key to an agent. I don't really know what that means, but that's good. That's what we need to do. Okay, so we have the SSH key created for this system. We have it tied to the key tied to an agent. Now we just need to get the agent tied to GitHub. So the next step is adding it to our GitHub profile. Luckily, this is one of the easier parts. You will use a simple command that's clip a less than sign, and then the same path you typed before, the tilde /dot SSH the ID underscore ED 25519. But this time add a dot pub, add a dot pub. The clip will just go into this file, take whatever's in that file, and add it to our clipboard. So that basically a fancy copy and paste. Ta-da! It's now in our clipboard, which is what we need. And we can go back to this SSH key add new. We already added the title. We already added the key type. And now the key that we just copied, we will paste it in. So paste key here. I'm not going to paste it just because I don't want anybody to see it. I don't know what happens if someone else gets their hands on it, but it's probably not good. But you'll paste the key here, and you will add the SSH key. Let me go ahead and do that just to make sure nothing else crazy pops up when that happens. Add key. If you have backups and two-factor authentication, it'll say, hey, can we send a text to your phone, or can we send an email to your email address, whatever. So that's what it's asking me to do now, just to make sure someone else isn't trying to create a key for my account. So I'll type in my key. Awesome. And then just like that, it is good to go. It is now, again, I don't want to show anybody, but it is listed underneath my SSH keys as my new gaming desktop, and it should be all ready to go. And it's really as easy as that. There's a lot of text, there's a lot of like text tutorials you can find online, but I couldn't find many videos, so I thought, you know, I've seen some of my friends struggle with this process, so I figured I'd just make a quick video on it, and I hope that helps. Thanks.